Hello, today in our next lesson on special numbers, we're going to focus on factors. So looking at the learning outcomes for the topic, we'll see where we're up to. So we've looked at multiples, common multiples, and lowest common multiple. So now we're going on today to look at factor and common factor. Then in the next lesson, we'll look at highest common factor, prime numbers and prime factors. Okay, so first of all, we need to decide or we need to understand what a factor is. Okay, now whereas multiples are the times table of a number, so the multiples of 5 are all the numbers that are in the 5 times table, or the multiples of 6 are what makes a 6 times table. Factors are the opposite. So factors are what go together to make up a number. So the factors of 6 are numbers that you can multiply to get 6. So for example, because 1 times 6 is 6, then that means that 1 and 6 are both factors of 6. Okay? The other factors of 6 are 2 and 3. Because 2 times 3 is also 6. So we say that 2 and 3 are factors. Okay, so if we're going to list the factors of 6, they are 1, 6, 2 and 3. Okay, because all of those numbers, you can divide 6 by each of these numbers and you can get a whole number as an answer, so there's no remainder. Okay, so looking at factors of 10, we need to think what can multiply together to make 10. So always try and think of factors and partners because that'll help you. Always start with 1 and the number itself. So we know that 1 and 10 are factors. What else multiplies together to give 10? Well, we've got 2 and 5. So 2 times 5 is 10. So that means 2 and 5 are factors as well. And there are no other whole numbers that multiply together to give us 10. So we can list the factors of 10 being 1, 10, 2 and 5. Okay. Next, let's think about 25. So how can you multiply to get 25 as an answer? So you multiply the factors of 25 together to get 25. So like I said in the last one, always start with 1 and the number itself, and that gives you a pair of factors to start with. And the other multiplication that has 25 as an answer is 5 times 5. But when we're listing the factors, so we've got 1 and 25, but we only list 5 once. We don't need to say it twice. If 5 is a factor of 25, then 5 is a factor of 25. We don't need to say it again. Okay? So what we've been doing here is just working our way through and thinking about what we know about times tables, and then we've listed the factors at the end. But we haven't done it in any kind of a particular order. So what we're going to look at now is how to systematically list factors to make sure that we don't miss any. So, finding factors. I should say before we go any further that you should probably have your book out whilst you're watching this video so that you can make notes as we're going along. So I'm changing the way we're doing things a little bit in that the videos will be shorter, there'll be less in the videos, but I want you to do the worksheet questions in between pausing the video, okay? So finding factors. So let's start with a number that's got quite a lot of factors, or quite a few. So I'm going to start with 12. So when we're listing factors systematically, what I would like you to do is write the number down. Then underneath it, write 1 and the number itself. So we know that 1 times 12 is 12. Then I want you to think, we're going to work our way down this side here, and we're going to put the partners at this side. So we're just going to go up the numbers. So obviously the next number along is 2 that we would write here, but we only write it down if it is a factor of 12. So does 2 go into 12? Is 2 times something 12? It is. So we write down 2. And then in this space here, we write down the partner of 2 to make 12. So 2 times this is 12. So 2 times 6 is 12. All right. Then in this space here, we're thinking about 3. Does 3 go into 12? And 3 does go into 12, so we write 3. And then the partner of 3 that makes 12, so 3 times what is 12? So that goes in here. So 3 times 4 is 12. Now, our next number here would be 4, but we've already got 4. So in this way of systematic listing, as soon as you get to a number that's already in the right-hand column, then you stop, and that's a guarantee that you've got all the factors. Okay? And then to list the factors, we do it in this order. We start there and we go around that way. So the factors of 12 are, like I say, going this way and this way. So they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And by listing factors in this way, we make sure that we don't miss any. Okay, let's do this again with 30. So we're starting off with 30 and we're going to list the factors of 30. So this is going to be all the times tables where you'll find 30 as an answer. So we're going to start with 1 and 30 because that's what we're going to do every time we're listing factors, is start with 1 and the number itself. So the next number to consider putting here is 2. So we need to think, does 2 go into 30? Well, 30 is an even number, isn't it? Because it ends in a 0. And even numbers are the 2 times table. So 2 does go into 30. And then we need to find the partner of 2. So 2 times what makes 30? Well, you can work that out to be 15. Okay, so next here, we consider 3. Is 3 a factor of 30? Does 3 times something equal 30? Well, it does. So we can put the 3, and 3 times 10 is 30. Next, we would consider 4. But when we think, does 4 go into 30? Or is 4 times something equal to 30? Then we realise that 4 is not a factor of 30. So we can't write 4 down. So the next number would be 5. Does 5 go into 30? Yes, it does, because it ends in a 0. And the partner of 5 to make 30, 5 times 6 is 30. So the next number to try here would be 6, but we've already got 6, so we know we've got them all. And then when we list them, we come down this column and back up that one, and that'll give us them all in order. So it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. Okay, so it's quite a simple way of listing factors, and it makes sure that we get them all. So we're going to do one more practice just now. This time we're going to go with 16. So we start with 1 and 16. Then we think about 2. Does 2 go into 16? It does. So 2 times 8 is 16. Next we think here. Does 3 go into 16? 3 doesn't go into 16. 16 is not in the 3 times table, so we can't write down 3 here. So we think 4. Is 4 times something 16? And it is. So 4 times 4 is 16. So we don't need to go any further with this because we've already got the number that's in the right-hand column. Okay, so when you get to 2 numbers that match at the bottom, you know you've finished. Okay, and again, we list in this direction. But when it comes to writing the factors of 16 out, we write 1, 2, 4, but we don't write 4 twice. Okay, so 4 is a factor of 16, so there's no need to say it again. In fact, it would be pointless to say it again. So this is how we systematically list factors, and I would like you to have a go at that now. So This is on the worksheet that you've got, if you've had a worksheet sent home. So factors, there's a reminder at the top here, are the numbers that you multiply to get another number. So 2 times 3 is 6, so 2 and 3 are factors of 6. So that's just demonstrating what we looked at earlier on. So what I would like you to do just now, like I say, this is on the worksheet, so you can either do it from the worksheet or you can just pause it and do it from the screen. Either way, I do want you to pause the video whilst you do this. I would like you to pick either set A, set B or set C and list all the factors of those numbers, and I want you to do it in that systematic way that we just demonstrated. So if you need to, you can rewind the video, you can watch that little bit again, or you can go ahead and list them. Either way, pause the video just now and answer 4 questions. Just choose whether you're doing A, B or C questions. So I hope you got on okay with those. I'm about to show you the answers. So if you've not finished yet, quickly pause it again. And here we go. Oops. There we go. There's the answers. So pause the video again to check your answers. And then when you're ready, when you've checked them all, you can move on. I hope you got on okay with listing factors. Now we're going to move on to common factors. So we're going to answer, find the common factors of 6 and 8. So to find common factors, we need to find the factors of 6 and the factors of 8. And like common multiples, common factors are in both lists. So using our systematic listing, we're going to list the factors of 6 and the factors of 8. So remember, our systematic way of doing it is we write down 1 and the number itself. Then we think, does 2 go into 6? And it does, because 2 times 3 is 6. Our next number to choose would be 3, but we've already got 3. So that means we've got all the factors of 6, so we can write them out. 1, 2, 3 and 6. Then we're going to list the factors of 8. So we start with 1 and 8. Then we think about 2. Does 2 go into 8? And it does. 2 times 4 is 8. The next number would be 3, but 3 doesn't go into 8, so we can't write 3 down. The next number would be 4, and we've already got 4, so that means we've got all the factors already, and listing them in order, we've got 1, 2, 4 and 8. So now, if we have a look at our lists of factors, we can point out, or we can look and see which ones are in both lists. So if we have a look, we can see we've got 1 in both lists, we've got 2 in both lists, 3 and 6 are not in the list of the factors of 8, so 1 and 2 are the common factors. So, oops, daisy. So we can say the common factors of 6 and 8 are 1 and 2. Okay, I'm going to do the very same thing again now to find the common factors of 20 and 16, but I'll leave the other ones on the screen so we can still see them. So we're going to list the factors of 20 and we're going to list the factors of 16. So 20 is 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 3 is not a factor of 20, so we don't write 3 down, 4 is a factor of 20, 4 times 5 is 20. The next number to try here would be 5, but we've already got it. So we know that if we go in this order, we can list all the factors of 20. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 10 and 20. Now we're going to look at 16. So we've got 1 and 16. We've already done 16, remember, a couple of minutes ago. So 2 and 8, 4 and 4. And when we list them in order, 1, 2, 4. We only say 4 once. So then 8 and 16. So when we look now at common factors, then we can, oops, let's get my highlighter back again. We can see that the numbers that are in both lists are 1 and 2 and 4. And that's it, isn't it? Because 5, 10 and 20 are not in this list. And 8 and 16 are not in that list. So the common factors of 20 and 16 are 1, 2 and 4. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is, well, you're going to answer some questions on common factors now. So I would like you to pause the video again. These are questions that are on your worksheet. So you can either use your worksheet or you can just take them straight off the board. If you pause the video, and you can do either set A, set B or set C. So you're finding the common factors. So for example, in A, you're going to find the common factors of 8 and 10 and list them. Then 9 and 12 and so on. Okay. The C questions are always the more difficult ones. So you pick which set of questions to do and work away at those. And when you're done, you can restart the video and see the answers. So if you're ready to see the answers now, look away now if you're not ready. So there are the answers to the 3 sets. So that's the lists of common factors of each pair of numbers. So pause the video whilst you check your answers. And then we're ready to move on again. So that's all we're going to cover in this part of the lesson. Okay, we're going to check where we got up to, and then next lesson we're going to go on to looking at the next bits. So today we've looked at factors and we've looked at common factors. Previously we've looked at multiples, common multiples and lowest common multiples, and these things are what we're going to go on to next lesson. Okay, so well done for today. Remember to tell me or your teacher if it's not me, if there's something that you're not sure about, and you can feel free to watch any of the bits of the video again if you think that that's going to help you. Okay, well done. See you later.